I always believe in teams because you still have your autonomy. You still have the ability to do an amazing amount of business. And if it's about the money, I always want to say to a realtor, it's still there.
Hi, welcome to the Realtors Conspiracy Podcast. I'm here today with Lynn Fee from the Lynn Fee Team and Keller Williams. Hi, Lynn.
Hi there, Maud. How are you today?
Good, good. So
Good.
tell us about, it's your first time on the podcast with me. Tell us about your career. How did you get into real estate? Just the beginning of your career in real estate.
Yeah. Well, I always say I didn't come to it as a young person. It was kind of a decision I made, I won't say by accident. There was a couple of choices and I didn't even think I'd be any good at this. So I came to it thinking I would assist somebody as an administrator. Maybe I'd be a buyer agent. And I always say by accident, that didn't work out. And I went, I'm going to have to do this on my own. And I lived in Grimsby and I walked into the Grimsby real estate office, which is the RE/MAX office at the time. And it was like, you better get going. You better get going. You've got a lot to do. And I didn't know how to do it. And I always say there was some pretty neat people there.
Nice.
And I looked around and I went, what do I see and what do I want to be? And and I knew that I had to really hustle if I was going to be in any way be able to do anything like those people did. So I looked at what I saw. And I want to sometimes say, when I say I wanted to do it better, it was that I wanted to see if there was something more I could do. And I like marketing.
Yeah.
I come from a background of a bit of marketing and I wanted things to look really good and I wanted to do more. So I tried to see if I could do things a little bit better, I guess. I wanted more color in ads. I wanted feature sheets that looked good and signs that were bigger and better and professionally installed. And one thing led to another and I couldn't keep up anymore. I couldn't keep up by myself and do what I wanted to do and do it well. And because clients were my priority, I came to real estate thinking that I would take care of people. And as much as that sounds kind of corny, that's kind of where it started, was with this would be a great way to serve people.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't do it and do it all, then you need help. So I could keep going. So that was how I built a team. Yeah. It sort of morphed into a team. It wasn't like I made a plan, like this is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Build a team. It was, how do I do this and do it well?
It just happened out of being busy and servicing your clients well. So that's a good success story.
Yeah.
Tell us about like your marketing and your branding. So you said you like things to be pretty and the industry wasn't there yet. You have this brand that's very consistent through all your pieces. How was that important to you and why?
Well, like you see behind me, things as simple as the font. I found a font I liked, and as much as you can see it up there, I won't let anybody mess around with that. And even whether I was with RE/MAX or now I'm with Keller Williams, I continued to pull it with me. And colors I changed, of course, slightly with RE/MAX and Keller, but I've always liked black, obviously, and I like white. So those colors were great. I love the primary colors, and you're like red. So some of it you can move in, and I like bold stuff. I wanted things to stand out. And I always believe that it had to show, we have to show up and you have to stand out. So I tried to figure out how to do that. And even with signage, as soon as I drive by and people said to me, we always see your sign down the road, because it's never changed. It didn't matter where I went. And everything I did, I was looking around, even my business cards, I tried to not make them look too much different. So when anyone says, why don't you try that? I just go, yeah, I don't think so. And that might be boring, but branding, well, here's what RE/MAX used to say back in the day when I was there. Why would you mess with the brand? We've established that. And use it to your benefit. So Lynn Fee Team or Lynn Fee isn't about me. It's about a brand. And it's something I feel I got established. And there's a person and then there's a brand, and people actually like the brand and believe it stands for quality. And I think for most, I really hope most people see it as an ethical, honest brand, and that they see it and they think of a good thought, and they see, wow, she does well, or wow, she sells, or we like what we see. And that's the message that I want always to come across, you know.
Very good. Yeah. What would you say would be the key point that made you successful throughout the years?
Well, I've often thought about that. I used to think when I first came in, I was afraid, but I was also, I connect well with people.
Yeah.
I often say I'm an introvert in the world, acting like an extrovert, but I would like to think there's some authenticity to who I am. I didn't come from anything lofty, very humble life, and, you know, started, like I said, I was a single mom, and I was pretty desperate when I started. I don't show desperation, but I wasn't desperate for money. I was desperate to connect with people
Get
and
it.
show them that I understood where they were at, and they needed me. I needed them just like they needed me, and I wanted to help them right from the very beginning. Like, I wanted to show them the house and not sell them the house. I wanted to show them everything that was not right about the house. And I wanted them to realize that I'm there to find them the right house, because one day I hope they'll call me back.
Yeah.
And even with a first time buyer, like, they'd be young, and I wasn't young, and I'd go, yeah, no, no, this just isn't really right. You know, and parents would come to join to make sure that I wasn't that realtor that was going to just sell their, and by the time they met me, they'd go, no problem, you just go with her, she's fine. Because it meant a lot to me to be trusted. So, you know, you gain trust, and I'm in a great community. I serve Grimsby, Lincoln, West Lincoln, and it goes from there all the way through the peninsulas. But this has been my home for 35 years, and I want people to trust me, and that know that I'm not here just to sell them a house, or, you know, I want them to know I have integrity behind that. It matters.
Integrity, yeah.
Yeah.
Integrity is huge. And in a small community, even though you service a large area, small community, you want to go to grocery store, you want to be able to interact in your life and not be the one who didn't have integrity. So
I think that helps a lot, because you hear the rumors when it doesn't work out for some, and you know, you go, oh gosh, glad that wasn't me, because it doesn't go away. So I really am happy when I can, you know, for the most part, we can always put the interest of a client before all others. They call it a fiduciary duty, and you put the interest of a client before your own, before all others, including your own. And I believe in that, always have. You know.
And to be able to go to sleep at night and knowing you did a good thing all day. So
yeah,
that speaks a lot.
Exactly.
Cool. What would be the best advice you received in your career so far?
Oh, gee, I got so much of it.
Yeah.
Well, one would have been, you know, if I'd have started back then and they said, you know, buy an investment property every single year. And I thought, and today, you know, somebody once said, well, you'll never retire on your commission. And I used to go, oh my gosh, all that money, of course we would. But you know, it was a great broker who said that buy an investment property and invest in what you do. And that's great advice. I'm not one of the people that took that advice. I just worked really hard, built a team, but it is probably a wise bit of advice. But yeah, I think that's probably important. I still say it's about people, connecting with people, but that's just a different level of what advice, I guess. Putting people first, you know, and I'm trying to think if there was any other advice really.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
And you did end up buying the property your business is in now, your team is in. And
that was a big one. Yeah, it was like kind of a decision to be in downtown Grimsby. Buying that building was, for me, a huge move. Again, I always say everything I did was not ever expected. You leave, you think you're in your comfort zone. And as I said, moving from that place of I always say that terrified single mother who leaves her nice little salary job where she actually had a benefits and, you know, all the things you think, those were things. I came from a working class, a Stelco family that said, you know, get a job. And I went completely the other way. And it was terrifying. And so you take all these risks, and sometimes my family says, who are you anyway? Like, how did you? I go, I don't even know. I just kept trying and hoping and praying as well that I guess that's what I'm supposed to do next. So, you know,
it's same with the building. Now you have a huge milestone building.
Yeah.
right in the corner, stands out. It's beautiful.
Well, also too, it's the family that I now have in that building.
Yeah.
Those people are like family to me. Not only do I have my son who's been with me, he'll probably get mad because I always say over 10 years, and I never quite know how long, but he's a broker. He's also teaching the curriculum at Humber College for real estate,
Yeah.
which is so awesome for him. He loves that. And then I have Donna and Kim and Summer, and these are girls that have been with me for a while. And Wendy, of course, Wendy's on our team as a fabulous agent, and Stephanie, and now Tracy's joined us.
Yeah.
So it makes me so happy to walk in, and that is family. It's not a team, it's like a family of people that I love to know that they're getting something great out of it too. So we
The
care about
value
people.
goes both ways.
Yeah.
From them to you and them and you to them.
Yeah. We right now, unfortunately, and I feel you'll probably ask me about COVID-19 and all, we found ourselves really missing each other through this because there's a great deal of support we have for each other. So I'll stop there and let you.
But no, but that's perfect. Because I was going to ask you how did COVID really impacted your business? Because you were, again, the team, the building, the house. And
Well, the beginning of this year, we believed, and people had said, and the way it was looking is we were walking into a banner year again. Because, after 2017, and then things just went kind of, and then 18, we were trying to dig our way out, it felt like. And then 19 was like, okay, we had all that snow the first half of the year, everybody stayed in. We were just starting to feel like, okay, I think we're into a seller's market. And January, we were just looking at days on market. We're like, it was really kind of 6 to 8. And then February was great. And then March was not bad. And then that hit.
Yeah.
And April was something like 60 days on market. Everybody was hidden. And really tough month. And we all had to close up, of course, and find ways to do business that was so differently. When I say close up, we are essential service, so we didn't close. We were just forced to do business. And I don't complain. I'm really grateful, but a little part of us went, oh, we're going to get to hunker down like like a snowstorm, and you say it's snow day.
a retreat.
Yeah, that was about 1 week of snow day. And then it was like, okay, what are we doing now? Thankfully, we had already done a good job of getting virtual.
Yes.
We've always done that. So everything was sort of virtual, but now it was like, step it up, step it up, step it up. Now we have to find ways to get into homes because I don't like to use the word paranoid because I don't mean to understate the severity of COVID-19, but everyone took it to a place of terror, and rightfully so, which made, no one knew what to do. And we didn't know, masks and gloves and everything. So we didn't know whether should we go into a home or should we not? And we were freaked out as well. So we were all kind of going, we don't know who to talk to. Now that we begin to see where is it actually concentrated, can we do this? Where can we go? Ontario Real Estate Association gives us some pretty strict guidelines.
Yes.
So we have to be very careful where we are, how we're seen, how we're perceived, and not like some money grubbing mongrels that can't keep their hands out of the, we are called and asked, can you help us? And we say, well, of course we can. Some don't want us to do it virtually. They're saying, no, we need you to come. So then we have to equip ourselves. So we have safety kits that we made up long before we'd even heard about them. I said, well, we need to get masks and try getting any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So we were trying to order them from overseas. We were anywhere we could. And I'm just getting stuff now that I'd ordered back then. But we did manage to scrounge, and we all found our gloves. And so we would go in with masks on. And now we actually, every single showing, we actually are showing up at the door because we can't trust that every realtor will enforce that. Yeah. And I have sellers to protect, and my word means something. And when I tell them that I'll make sure, the other day someone said they did, but all they had was masks and no gloves, and they had kids. And I said, well, they're going to go in and touch every doorknob in there. And then we're going to go in and sterilize everything. You don't know what's been touched.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't mean, so we make sure we're doing sort of a preemptive check. Yeah. And we call, and then we like to be there just to make sure. No. So we're doing that, and then we send out a form before they arrive called it's a COVID questionnaire, and them and their buyers are supposed to answer honestly, but you know,
At that point, you did what you could, the
yeah,
best you could. You have your
yeah,
systems in place. So I think you're
yeah.
doing the right thing.
Yep. And now, so we keep on adding in. Now we're being told even feature sheets, which I love printing because we do a
Yeah.
beautiful luxury sheet. We're not maybe even supposed to be passing those out due to the fact that just even the hand changing. So
Yeah.
just even today, we said, well, we've always done a virtual feature sheet anyway. That was just what we did. It was always on our website. It was, and everyone has their own page. So www.123 Jane Street will say,
Yeah.
so you always could go on and find everything virtually, but now we're really going to have to promote the fact that
Yeah.
we'll laminate one that can be easily washed down, and here's the sheet, and we're going to start sending that to each agent and saying, before he comes, here's your feature sheet. You'll see it on the site when you arrive. It's in your email. Please send it to your client. And I'm sorry, the only reason we can't give you one isn't because we're told that it's not safe.
Yeah.
So, you know, so
I
we're
think
doing
you did.
everything.
Yeah. I think you did the right step in place, and then you were already up ahead of the game by being
Yeah.
using technology already, having these things up, and then you just had to adapt and in a short period of time do a little bit more. Maybe that was on your plan.
Yeah.
So
It's
you,
really shown how much we didn't give up, and some we heard people who just sort of given up and said, well, I guess I'll just wait until this is over. Well, it's not going to be over.
no,
This isn't, it's something we have to figure out. How do we live with it? How do we continue to help and work, because we're essential. We did have to lock our doors to the public, but for a while we didn't show up at all. And now we had one girl in at a time, and now we're socially distancing 2, and
yeah.
then it's like 2.5. But so slowly we're trying to get back to some sense of normalcy, you know.
Yeah. Very good. So what advice would you give to a realtor who's thinking of quitting, who didn't put the stuff in place or give up a little bit?
Well, if it's an individual realtor, like, and it's, I always believe in teams, because I started, as I said, not intentionally as a team. It morphed into that. But seeing what I see, you still have your autonomy. You still have the ability to do an amazing amount of business. And if it's about the money, I always want to say to a realtor, it's still there. It's just a different way of doing it. And you've got the cocoon of protection, and there's also something to the namesake and the reputation that goes along with that, and you've got support. So right now, a new person who's joined is like getting support on all kinds of things. You have a broker on the team, you have an experienced agent, actually a number of experienced agents. You've got a safe place and to be looked after. And even if you're not getting, let's say, leads from that team or something, you're going to get a lot of you'll get things because of where you are. And I just think being alone is very difficult. How are you going to get protective equipment and be everywhere at one time? It's not that easy to do. You know, we spell each other off. Like Torrin's in front of that place. Well, I'm saying, Torrin, you know, head over there, make sure that they've got this, and someone else is running here, and people are answering phones right now while I'm doing this, and
Nice.
ads are being approved right now for the paper. I'm okaying it just before I got on with you. It's been sent. I've approved it. But how could one person do all that?
Do everything. It's
And
hard.
do it well. I don't mean they couldn't do it. They could do it. But to do it well and please your clients and be safe during all this,
Yeah.
I could see where people would just want to give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone gets that moment where I go, maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the time we just head on down to, then I go, where would you head? Where would I head?
Yeah.
Just pack it up, get that RV and drive away. Just read all the books you never got to read.
Yeah. Well, on a more positive note, like how are you thinking of growing your business from here and expanding, or what's in the future for you?
Well, I have ideas, you know, about, we sometimes call it an expansion, and I don't know how that will work, because this kind of came in just as we were going, what is our next plan? And now you're doing a bit of damage control. You're trying to keep everything intact. You want to make sure you're profitable, and it's not going to be the easiest year for that.
Yeah.
So my hope would be that I have a lovely building. I keep thinking of, to be honest, I think of other ways to do things. There's not everybody wants to do real estate the way I do it,
Mhm.
as in the public. They have ideas. That's why some of the other ways of doing real estate are popular. And I wish I could find a way to be able to offer more ways to do it, so people feel they have some say in things. And that's things that I, again, trying to still work through all that. Areas I'd like to be able to open up to agents to be able to do business outside of the area and still have Lynn Fee systems, because we have what I think are some of the best systems around.
Sure.
And we've got a great infrastructure too, of administrators, operations, I should call them. They're really not even administrators. They know they could run things.
Mhm.
So and great people like you in our life, and people who do our social media. And if we could be able to help agents that maybe don't want to actually join a team, but want the backing of a team.
Yeah.
So I have ideas.
Of it, and yeah.
Like to be powered by a team that's got all that, but you still want your individuality and your anonymity. That can be done too.
Mhm.
So just trying to figure it all out. And I have a tendency to move slow and carefully, and don't want to do anything too much, especially when I'm trying to keep my clients happy and
Yeah.
everything going well and get through this big bump. And
But when you do, though, we can tell that it's reflected, it's balanced, and then you do it, and it works. Yeah, so far you've proven that. So
yeah. So I hope sometimes I think I should move a little quicker. I go, you're no spring chicken, Lynn. Like, what are you waiting for? But everyone has a different ability to do things, and I sometimes move a little slower. So
no, it's the pace. It's smart. It's reflected.
okay.
Good. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.